All right, guys, so we're going to be going through some foam rolling in this video. So I want to go over the most common foam rolling spots. If you were to say, get ready to get into a workout and you wanted to loosen up your muscles in 2 to 3 minutes flat, what would the routine be that you would do? And this is going to be the routine that I usually start with. This is anytime I'm taking somebody through a kickstart session. This is the sequence that we do. And the first one is going to be coming in our plank position and rolling our quads. So I'm going to take this foam roller and I'm going to get into a kneeling position, right? And I'm going to push this foam roller right up against my knees. And then I'm going to start there. And the reason why is because now I can control that the foam roller is on the bottom section of my legs. So as I roll straight on, I'm working the bottom, so from the knee to about halfway up my quad. So I have good control. I'm not getting too extended on this. And the reason why is I'm not trying to turn this into too much of a core exercise, right? We're trying to get loosened up before we work out, or maybe we're trying to wind down at the end of the night. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually kind of push backwards, and now I'm going to start foam rolling mid of my quad and up, right? So you're going to notice that sometimes you might be a little bit more sore on one side. So what I usually say is in the beginning when you're foam rolling, you might be really, really tender here. So just doing this a lot of times is a lot for people. So moving to a single leg would be even more, right? So, but if you do want to get a little deeper, maybe you do like a little deeper feel, what we would say is we want to kind of move that this leg comes up off of the foam roller and we just leave that bottom leg on, and now we're guiding using 3 points of contact. So my back leg is in the ground, my front hand is in front of me, and then I kind of have my elbow here on the ground in this plank position, and I'm passing this through. Now what this allows me to do is actually turn and rotate, right? So I can rotate and actually get my body kind of squared up with you in the camera, and I can go down now my IT band. All right, so the IT band, this is the spot that's usually going to cause a lot of stiffness, a lot of problems, and usually does not feel the best when you're rolling it, right? So typically if this is really stiff, that's telling you you've really kind of got to work on this. Now, where people go wrong is that they take this foam roller and they roll right on that IT band. And what you really want to think about is rolling along this part of the leg or on the back side. You never want to roll straight on the side because you can start to bruise your IT bands, and that's not what we're looking for here. So we just did a couple seconds here on our quads. We rolled our IT bands. Now typically the next thing I'm going to do is work my way up into the glutes, right? Now the hamstrings you can also work, but depending on, a lot of people don't feel this too much, but if you're really, really tight, you might feel the hamstrings a lot, right? You might actually start to feel that foot kind of release. So I will do typically a couple seconds, just rolling out those hamstrings as I get ready to slide that foam roller up more towards my glutes. Now, when we're doing this, we want to think about first sitting on here. Now, this is going to give you a little more balance. But what we want to do is we want to kind of start to roll towards one side. So I'm going to roll towards this right. And why is because I'm trying to get to the side right here on my gluteus medius, we call that, right? So this is the one that typically gets the tightest on us, right? A lot of people might have called this like, oh, the piriformis, all right? And the piriformis is located in this area, but a lot of times it's all of the muscles in the hip capsule that are really, really tight. So it's not just to hit the piriformis, because the piriformis is actually a very small muscle, and we are going to need to roll all of the muscles that are making up this trunk and hip area. So that's our glutes, our hamstrings, our hip capsule itself, even kind of working up on the top here. And then coming off to the side, you'll notice you can find a lot of relief there. Now, this might be really, really intense, right? So you have to work up to these exercises sometimes. So I always tell people, if you feel too much pain, you want to stop, right? The goal is not to be in pain here. The goal is to relieve pain and stiffness and joints. So now to finish this off, so one of the rules, let's talk about a rule. When we think about a foam roller, if you see it at my low back, we never want to roll this area, this low back area, right? When I'm rolling my back, I want to think about upper back, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that foam roller down, and then from there I can either kind of grab and kind of move forward, right? This is going to allow me to kind of have a little bit more roundedness. So as I'm rolling, I can take my arms back. Now, if you are a lady, watch your hair, because sometimes the hair can get caught underneath the foam roller. So throwing it in a ponytail or throwing it over, or if you're wearing a hood too, sometimes the hood can get trapped there. So make sure that you're not keeping that in the way. So boom, my next one you'll see, I went from being right on my back to now rotating. You'll notice I like to rotate always. So I always start kind of even and then I'll rotate. So on my glutes, I start even and then I rotate towards my hip. So up here, I'm gonna rotate towards underneath my shoulder. Now this also might be a little tight for you. So make sure that you're doing this with ease and caution. And we will go underneath the other side. And that right there is a nice, easy sequence that you can do with the foam rollers. You can do this every time you're getting ready to work out. We typically do this for the first 2 to 3 minutes before we start to train, and you can do this at the end of your workout to start that recovery process. You can also use this on an active recovery day. So if you want to, do a rest day on Sunday, but you want to do something that's going to make your body feel good, using doing 5-10 minutes of foam rolling, a little bit more in-depth foam rolling, and then adding in maybe a mobility warm-up or a flow, well, that is going to be a good tune-up on your off day to make sure that your body is feeling good and ready to go for your next training session and for the week of work ahead. All right, guys, hope this video helped, and we'll see you on the next one.